All right. The last part of lesson 3-1 is this introduction to these two column proofs. I want to go ahead and take a look at example A. It has been completely worked out for us. It starts off with similar to question 4, giving us an equation and then asking us to prove, and it actually tells us what our answer should be. And all we do are list the steps in order as we work through the problem. So they started out with 3 parentheses x plus 2, close your parentheses, minus 1 equals 5x plus 11. That was the given equation. Then it says 3x plus 2 equals 5x plus 12. They stated they use the addition property of equality here because you'll notice as you go from this line to this line, this negative 1 is no longer there, and this positive 11 has now changed to a positive 12. So they must have added 1 to both sides. Again, as I explained in the last example, there will not be that plus 1 on both sides. They're just going to work the operation. In statement 3, they said 3x plus 6 equals 5x plus 12. Notice that from step 2 to 3, the parentheses disappeared, which means they took the 3 and times it by the x, and the 3 times the 2. They call this the distributive property. Step 4, they said 6 equals 2x plus 12. Notice that the 3 is no longer here, and this 5 has now become a 2. So that means they must have subtracted 3x from both sides, so they use the subtraction property of equality. Step 5. Step 5 says negative 6, they somehow changed that sign, equals 2x. But if you notice, this 12 has now been subtracted from both sides. Well, 6 minus 12 does equal that negative 6. So they use the subtraction property of equality here. Next step they did, they wanted to get x by itself, so they divided by positive 2. Notice the 2 is no longer here, and notice this negative 6 has now become negative 3. So they use the division property of equality. But this isn't what we were asked to prove. We were asked to prove this, x equals negative 3. So this is a simple property that has to be used. It's called the symmetric property of equality, which just means that if negative 3 equals x, well then x must equal negative 3. All they did was switch it across the equal sign. You will now be asked to complete the try these A, both example A and B. The first one asks that you supply the reasons to justify each statement in the proof below. So notice it worked through the problem. It got all the way down to x equals 9, which was what you were asked to prove. Now it's asking you to write the given reasons in the correct order. So fill in the missing pieces. Most of these answers might come from the previous page. If you look off to the side, these connect to algebra are properties of equality. Most of them will come from this. Not always, but in most cases for these, you will be able to solve it by using these properties of equality. Next, you will also be completing B, which says complete the proof statement. So find out what we're trying to prove and write a 2-column proof for the equation given in item 4. Number each statement with and corresponding reasons. So again, work through this. You're going to write down your statement. You're going to set up a table similar to this. do your statements, do your reasonings, and all you're basically doing is transferring this over to a two column proof. Sorry. All you're doing is setting it up in a T table. So go ahead and take the next 10 minutes to work on questions A and B for the Try These A. Go ahead and pause your video. On the next two slides, you will see drag and drops. I would like you to try to complete the drag and drops based on the answers that you wrote down for both Try These A, and B. Good luck.